Hi, I'm Jeff, and today I'll be doing an omelet cooking demonstration. So the first thing you want to have whenever you're cooking anything is you want to get organized and prepped. That's the key to being really successful in the kitchen. So for this, I have already laid out my equipment that I need. I have a cast iron pan, which is the workhorse in the kitchen. You definitely want to use that because it can go in high heat and you can cook just about anything in it. It's my favorite. I've got a mixing bowl and a fork and also a spatula. And really for this, that's all you need. For my ingredients, I chose 3 eggs and a little bit of cream. And for the purpose of this, I've already mixed them up. And I also chose cheddar cheese, bacon, and ham. The nice thing though is with omelets is you can really do anything. You can add it, you can make it fancier, you can make it less fancy. But traditional is what I'm doing today, just meat and cheese. Before you start beating the eggs and before you get too far going, I like to start with the very first thing. It's just heating up the pan. You want to do medium heat. You don't want to do too hot because that's going to get that burned on the outside and then runny on the inside, which is what we want to avoid with omelets. We want a real nice, fluffy, even cook all the way through. So I'm going to start by doing that. And then also, a little trick is I'm going to broil this on high. So we're going to start that at the same time and get a nice high heat, because what I'm going to do is actually finish the omelet in the broiler to make sure that it's cooked evenly on both sides perfectly. So once you get the pan heated up, you want to put just a shot of butter in, and you never want to put any butter or oil in a cold pan. Always make sure you get that pan nice and heated up before you add any of your oils. So you can kind of hear that sizzling, and you want to just get a nice even coat. That's going to help make sure the omelet doesn't stick to the pan at all, which is what we want. And then we'll do just a nice little shot of olive oil too, because why not? I do have some salt and pepper that I've already seasoned the eggs with too, along with the cream when I beat them, and that just makes it bring out the flavors. So salt's a flavor enhancer, so you want to salt before and after you're done cooking. So as this heats up, you can kind of tell because the butter's going to start to brown. Once the butter starts to brown and you kind of hear that sizzle, that means that the eggs are ready to go in the pan. So just to be sure, I'm going to get these one little extra beat. I use a fork for this. Some professionals use a beater, but I think the fork works best. And you just want to make sure to get your wrist in there and get it nice and evenly beaten. So this is already pretty hot, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because you can see that it's smoking and the eggs are ready to go in. For this, I chose 3 eggs. You can use less or more depending on how many people you're cooking for and the pan size. As that cooks, it's a little bit high. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. What I like to do, have a hand towel ready. Make sure that you can use that so you don't burn your hands. You want to pull away from the edges, and you can actually tilt and turn and pull it off the heat if it's getting too hot. But this way, you'll get all of your even yolk out, and the egg mixture will cook nicely, but it's not going to overheat. So you get that going. Omelets are one of those things that, like I said, they're easy in theory, but they're pretty easy to mess up too. So the way that we're gonna finish this makes it so it's kind of a foolproof method to make sure that you get cooked on both sides. So you can already see once you start getting that egg that's pretty cooked on the bottom, which I'm already there, you wanna just take it off the heat or even turn the heat all the way off. And now you add your ingredients that's gonna go on the inside. So for this, I'll do a little cheddar cheese, some bacon bits, and some ham. Like I said, this is kind of a traditional way. Usually if I was doing it in real life, I'd probably add a little bit more flavor to it, maybe some grilled onions or some mushrooms, some vegetables, things of that nature. But for this, we're just gonna keep it pretty simple. So now that it's all done, on the one side, you can still see I've got quite a bit of runny yolk on the inside, and that's what we don't want. So normally if you folded that over, it would be crispy on the outside, but kind of runny on the inside, and that's the last thing we want with an omelet. So I've got this going on the broiler. I'm just gonna stick it in for a couple minutes, maybe not even, 30 seconds or so, and that's gonna crisp it up nice and we'll be done. So like I said, the main important ingredients to think about is you wanna be organized. The mise en place, what they call, is you have all your ingredients already measured out and prepared before you start cooking with the omelet, because as you saw, we've got a real short window of timing, and then that's about it. So let me grab a plate. and we will see what we got here. This should be done. Perfect. So now you can see it's cooked all the way through on both sides. And now the last most important part is you just want to fold it over. And it broke a little bit, but that's okay because we're not a 5-star restaurant here. We're just going to eat it. And we got a perfect omelet. Thank you so much. And that is how you cook an omelet.